15 minutes after midnight on Christmas Day. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order! Order! What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard the gunshots after midnight. However, this witness said he heard the gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butt's claim he heard before midnight? Larry's right. Larry is right. Larry's wrong. I know, Mr. Asscrack. Could he be wrong? But he clearly just heard him say that it was not yet Christmas. It's almost Christmas. Is a different thing. Okay. Larry is right. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence that there was a gunshot before midnight. I think probably the lake photo and the pistol taken automatically at 11:50 shows an empty lake. He said he didn't see a boat. Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It's why this photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises. Ah, correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That's why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that that is the case. Then where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard the gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. That camera was set to respond to loud noises. Yes. There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why? The witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear. Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove the loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gunshot? Oh man, I do not know. I do not know what I need to use as the proof. Please show court evidence if you have any. Maybe it was the pistol. It's fired 3 times. This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When then was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That the 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen on the lake that night on the lake. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes apart. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes? What's wrong, Nick? I have it. Huh? Remember the case with the steel samurai? Huh? Yeah, of course I remember. The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. What do you mean? Maya. Yeah? If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm gonna run with it. Right. I mean, is this safe? Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We've got nothing to lose. Do not resist, my kid. It is time for your punishment. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay? Right, Nick. Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up the entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? Tisk, tisk, tisk. So you finally realized the truth? There can be no other murderer here than Mr. Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on the boat, on that boat. I admit it's hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have a photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. That's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the two men in the boat are. Well, that's easy. It's the murderer and Hammond, right? If you ask, let's see, it turns out it was killed by then Von Karma, Edgeworth, and the murderer. You say the murderer assumed the guys, of course it was Edgeworth and the murderer. And after the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. Haha, nobody hates you, Mike. He assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. What? Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then. The murderer's name? Right, it's... I don't know. You answer because you don't know it. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah! Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop. That old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out in the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of the crime was not on the boat? What? Well, then where did this murder take place? AC's like, because show the judge where the murder really took place. Hold on. I don't know what I'm looking at. I think it's gotta be the boat shop. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. He shoots him there, huh? This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out in the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? Well, that's the problem, right? The boat shop caretaker? Of course it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? I know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer fought twice. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at that lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and then threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. Everybody's thinking, the judge is thinking, bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly! Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. So it's finally time Mr. Edgeworth has got to speak up. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said. Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important? I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir! Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here, and I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. So we managed to actually, Larry actually saves the day, and Edgeworth gets one more day before getting called guilty. It was really weird because typically you would not have another day of trial. So there are only 3 days allowed most of the time. So December 27th, 1:22 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Well, he told the truth. Once I sifted through his unique testimony, still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Every single thing always feels like he's on the hot seat. And honestly, he is guilty, because if he doesn't get his client off, then he's guilty of incompetence, or held in contempt for other things. Who knows? But still, it always feels like Phoenix is on the hot seat. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth. The judge is rather incompetent, I have to agree with you. The judge is easily swayed, often and you're like, why? But he did step forward, at least on this one, and say, yeah, no, this guy needs to testify. Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile, just a little. I don't know, relax. I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you, get it off my chest, but... I can't make it up in my mind. I can't make up in my mind. He's always shocked. And you would think he would have your witnesses sequestered. Exactly. You would not have him you would not have him sitting in the trial ready to give testimony. so that they could hear the other witnesses, you know. It's usually, you know, that's why they have, like, you know, the witnesses are usually like somewhere else and not sitting in the courtroom. But okay, I can't make up my mind. What is this about Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder. Do you think he killed his dad? To be continued. All right, moving it right along. That one was a little touch and go because I really wasn't sure if Larry was going to save our bacon or cause us to fry in the pan. But fortunately for us, Larry saved our bacon sort of by just remembering that it was just before midnight. Now, why he wouldn't say that in his testimony, none of that, right? None of it, right? But, you know, it is what it is. Let's move on. We got a little bit of time left. Let's move on. December 27th. I don't know. How else are you going to get drama? I don't know. I mean, it's all crazy. And I don't even think that would ever be allowed. I don't think they would put anybody on the stand like that, you know. What we see on TV, and I found that out. You go to court. It's never what we see on TV. It's much more just to the point, just the facts, ma'am, kind of thing. Circuses and zoos and chaos just isn't allowed in a courtroom. December 27th, 2:11 p.m., Wright and Company's law offices. What was Mr. Edgeworth talking about? A memory of a crime that I committed. A memory of murder. Do you really think Mr. Edgeworth killed? I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. You think that the judge is like Mike Cade with him acting oblivious to everything? Mike Cade is very much not oblivious to everything. He feels every moment. But that judge is definitely oblivious. All right. I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. Some painful memory has been troubling him recently, but he never takes someone's life. Never. Nick. Yo, how's everyone doing? What do you think of my performance today? I had him swooning in the seats, huh, Maya? Swooning? Me? No. Oh, well, yes, I do remember feeling a little faint. Right on. Tell me the truth. Was it like love at first sight, right? Right, Nick? Huh? Me? Well, maybe my heart skipped a beat or two. I think you can do better than that. Come on, I save Edgeworth in there, dude. Edgy! You guys should be bowing before me. Yeah, bow before your hero. Come on, Larry. It really should just be that you told the truth. Today's trial. Larry, you really helped out in the trial today. You did. If you weren't there, Larry, I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth would have been found guilty. But seriously, Nick, that boat shop's caretaker guy is pretty suspicious. But Edgy ain't off the hook yet. Way to spoil the mood, Larry. Hey, I'm just a guy sitting in the audience, you know? But from where I was sitting, Edgy seemed pretty edgy. I mean, can you really know what he's telling the truth about that night? Nick, I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to believe in you two until the end. Us two? Edgeworth and who else? I mean, you mean me, right? Nah, he means me, right, Nick? Yeah, you, Larry. Not me. Please, Maya, don't make it all about yourself. You talk about drama. Just don't make it about yourself. This is about Edgeworth and saving him. For his sake. But why you, Larry? Huh? Actually, yeah. Why me, Nick? Enough with the silent treatment. Edgeworth. Nick, why do you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much? I mean, he's changed recently, true. But when we first met him, he was kind of a jerk, don't you think? You didn't know him back then. Back when he wanted to become a defense attorney. Wait, was that when you two were classmates? Yes, in grade school. They saved me, Miles. And Larry. They saved me and I'll never forget it. That's why I became a defense attorney, you know? What? Hey, Larry, what's he talking about? Sorry, I kind of forgot. Huh. Okay, Nick, out with it. I'm going to hear this story today, and that's final. Okay. It's kind of a long story, so hang in there. It was the very end of 3rd grade. I was on trial, a class trial. Class trial? You remember, Larry? Spring, end of 3rd grade? A kid in our class got his lunch money stolen. Lunch money? Our school was really small. Every month, kids would bring in an envelope with money for lunch from home. Huh, I see. Anyway, this kid's envelope disappeared with 38 bucks still inside. Oh, yeah. Now that you mention it, I do remember that. I could see why you'd forget, though. You were out of school that day. Anyway, the envelope had been stolen during PE class. I was coming down with a cold, so I skipped PE that day. I was the only one not in class. So, they thought you did it? Yeah, the kids in class said I should be put on trial. Trial? So the next day, we held a classroom trial with me as the defendant. I didn't do it. Guilty. He did it. Guilty. It was you. Thief. Give me the money back. You're such a meanie. No one will play with him just to make you didn't do it. You can't hide the truth. Tell us the truth. We're not going to play with you anymore. Yeah, and he told my racer he shouldn't be allowed in the relay racer. Give me back 50 cents I loaned you. How'd you rob the bank that other day? Now, Phoenix, you should know. You know you shouldn't steal people's money, right? It's not right. In the end, even the teacher thought I'd done it. Go over and apologize, Phoenix. I didn't know what was happening. I was so sad and I couldn't stop crying. Everyone was staring at me like I'd done it. I tried to apologize and went to where the boy whose money had been stolen was sitting. That's when it happened. Objection! You shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in a trial is evidence. Anything else has no place. You should all be ashamed. Amateurs. Miles? Yeah. It wasn't you who stole my money, was it? No. Then you shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it, but no one has any proof. That is why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent. But, Miles, it was your money that was stolen. Yeah, he did it. He's the one. We don't need proof. Make him say he's sorry. Why don't you all just shut up? This is always how it is. Everyone ganging up and picking on one person. Just think how he feels. He said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it. Very well. I will replace the money myself. This class trial is over. And that's how it happened. After that, you can't think of how Mike feels. After that, the three of us were the best of friends. Then you better start, AC. Wow, I had no idea. A little empathy goes a long way. Yeah, I had no idea either. I mean, I forgot. That's when I learned what it meant to be alone. Totally alone without a friend in the world. You did a good thing, Larry. Yeah, well, I was just lucky that I took the day off from school. I mean, if I had been there, they would have thought I'd done it. So I took it kind of personally, see? When something smells, it usually is the butts. All right, so after the trial. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after that class trial, and that's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. I remember his eyes would shine when he'd talk about his father. I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my father, a famous defense attorney. Then a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school. The DL6 incident. Right. I'm not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death. That's so sad. Can I make my own stream avatar? I think that you can pull from different ones, and you can other people can. Yeah, I don't know how to do it though, but yeah, you could, and you can even use your own designs and stuff. I don't know a lot about it though, how to do it or anything like that, but yeah, I know you can. It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like "Dark Suspicions of a Demon Attorney." Fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. But why? What happened? I mean, it's not the Edgy I used to know at all. That's what I thought too. I tried to get in touch with him I don't know how many times. He never replied. I guess he didn't want to see his old friends. I couldn't just drop it though. I wanted to meet him to learn why he become who he became. That's when I decided. Wait, you don't mean that's why you became a defense attorney, to meet Edgeworth? If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me whether he wanted to or not. In court. Edgeworth believed in me, and I believe in him. He's in pain, and no one's on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth, and I'm the only one who can help him. Whoa, Nick. So is that why you helped me out for free? Yes. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I do it for free. Aw, Nick! We have to save Mr. Edgeworth. It's the last thing we do, okay? It might be the last thing I do. Right. It very well may be. First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker. We need to find out who or what he is. I'd settle for who. I guess I can clean out some of this evidence I no longer need. Okay, let's go. So now we're done, and we've learned the story about Edgeworth. I don't know that there's anything. Whoa, I was hot out there, hot. I'm glad someone's happy about how this case is going. He seems too happy to care about anything I show him. Okay, so that's his usual. He was hot. He doesn't care about. Okay, so we're not going to be able to show him evidence. We don't need to. Let's move out. Do we go to the detention center and try to talk to Edgeworth? December 27th, detention center, visitors room. You look as grim as always. Mr. Edgeworth, I heard the story about the class trial. Class trial? What do you mean? You don't remember? No, I don't. There's been some more important things that have happened. Your lunch money was stolen, wasn't it? In 3rd grade? Lunch money? Oh yeah, right. I seem to remember something like that. Nick, I think you're the only one who really remembers. Well, it's probably only really mattered to me anyway. Mr. Edgeworth, didn't you know? That trial was the reason Nick became a defense attorney. Ridiculous. Gee, thanks. That said, it does sound like the kind of thing you do. You haven't changed a bit, have you, right? So simple. To a fault, even. Well, maybe, yeah, but I think you changed too much, Edgeworth. Perhaps. What's your relationship with Von Karma? He's my teacher and the man who deserves respect. I've learned everything I know of courtroom techniques from him. So he's like my sister was to you, Nick. He's a perfectionist in all things. In court, in his personal life, he's obsessed with doing everything perfectly. Perfectly, huh? In all cases he's taken on, none were left unsolved. And not one suspect was declared innocent. Ever. But, I know. It's possible that some of the suspects were indeed innocent.
Mike Cade, hand over all your damn lunch money or I will go to the toilet, have a dump and put your head down the toilet, then steal your pants.
Get back the lunch money there, okay? It's possible some of the suspects were indeed innocent. However, it's impossible for us to accurately determine that in every case. All Von Karma does is his job to find the suspect guilty perfectly. In any case, it's nigh well impossible to find a weakness in him. She is savage, Miss Handy J. Behave yourself. Should a weakness appear, he would do everything in his power to make it go away. Edgeworth? If what you're saying is true, you're headed for a guilty sentence tomorrow. He's right! There's no time to praise the energy, Mr. Edgeworth. AC White Raven is a little too scared, and you might want to do what she says, Mike, alright? Saying you might want to do it. It's a strange situation in which I find myself, I'll admit. No kidding. Why prosecute? Hey, Edgeworth, why did you become a prosecutor anyway? You used to look up to your dad. You said you wanted to be a defense attorney, right? I couldn't let myself deny reality like you. What do you mean? My father was taken from me, and you want me to defend criminals? I'm sorry, right? But I'm not that good of a person. One suspect was apprehended in your father's murder, right? Yes, the man trapped in the elevator with my father. His name was Yanni Yogi. He had to be the shooter, any way you look at it. Yet, he was found innocent. That defense attorney got him off the hook. That would be Robert Hammond. I mean, I can see maybe, but Edgeworth would never shoot anybody. On that day, 15 years ago, the three of us were trapped in that elevator for 5 hours. When we were rescued, we all suffered oxygen deprivation. I had lost all memory of the murder. Lost your memory? Yeah, I mean, why do people ask? Even now, I can't recall what happened in that elevator. That was the crux of Yogi's attorney's argument in court. He claimed Yanni Yogi had been not of sound mind due to oxygen deprivation. Yogi was released due to lack of evidence, innocent. That's when I changed my mind. I started to hate defense attorneys. So Edgeworth does not like defense attorneys. Is there anything I could show him? Sorry. I'm not sure I can help you with that. Is there anything we could do? It was that case that changed my life. And tomorrow, on December 28th, the statute of limitations runs out. Tomorrow, could that be a coincidence? But even if the case is finally closed on paper, it will never be erased from my memory. Never. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, there's honestly just not a whole lot we can do right now. Nick, no! That's a photo of his father. Don't you show him that. Don't show him that. You're right. Now probably isn't a good time to dredge up those memories. What is it? Nothing. Huh? Alright, so we don't probably want him to see the photographs. He's probably seen. Does he know anything about her? Sorry. I'm not sure I can help you with that. Okay. Anything about this? Again. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not gonna shoot him. I'm trying to save him there, AC White Raven. That's very cold, okay? Fine. It's time to leave Edgeworth, I guess. There's not much more. What are you showing me this picture for? No reason. You know, I was impressed by your deduction in the trial today. Granted, you were at the end of your rope, but still. Nick, he noticed. Yeah, so I think we're getting really, really close to solving this thing. And I even believe I know who the murderer's name really is. But I gotta prove it.